Today's class, like I told you, we are going to start with mergers and acquisitions. And this mergers and acquisition, in fact, it has posed much problem over the years among various kinds of organization in the Nigerian economy. And you can bear with me that the whole essence of merger and acquisition is to increase efficiency in the workplace. But today, I want to make it a participatory class so that all of us will look at this acquisition, whether it has succeeded in yielding the desired goal. But before we proceed, I will want us to take our assignments for the week. Question number 1. In fact, only one question. Do it very carefully. Hello, Mr. Yomi, I'm online now.
Yes, I can hear
Hello,
you
can you
now.
hear? Okay,
Yes, I can
so
hear
we
you.
continue. Sorry for the break in transmission. Like I told you, most mergers and acquisition, after taking place and sealing all sealable, instead of the organization coming out stronger, we have seen a good number of them going down instead of coming out stronger after merger and acquisition. So you find out, you begin to ask yourself, why is it that most
Yeah, sorry for the interruption. I think it's due to network. Your lecturer will join in at most 2 minutes. Thank you.
Hello.
Go ahead.
Hello, Mr. Yomi. Go, okay.
Go ahead. Go ahead.
Please. Thank you very much. Students, don't be offended. We are having network issues here. But I'm assuring you, you can call on me at the end of the class. I wouldn't mind. Coca-Cola and Limca is a perfect one. It's still going on. The other one between them and Five Alive is still working. But why is it that the ones in the banking industry, a good number of them have not worked? We shall look at all these things and now look at the role of human resource management in the course of carrying out due diligence. That is where the problem is coming from. Because a good number of them, in the course of carrying out due diligence to know the assets Bank A is coming up to merge with Bank B, a good number of them collect brown envelope. Instead of them to state what they have seen on ground exactly the way they are, they start bending the rules. And so that at the end of the day, when the two institutions come together, you begin to see problems coming up. So in the course of the bulletin, we will look at it one after the other. So HR should have a significant role in carrying out merger and acquisition, because from day one of the establishment of the company or the financial institution, you find out that a human resource manager has been there on ground, right from the time of acquisition of the land, acquisition of employees to work with them, property, assets, all these things. Admin sector of the human resource management is always on ground to assess all these things. So human resource management has been at the forefront of every organization from the beginning up, even up to the point when the organization is about winding up. Then how come? Human resource department also, in fact, they sort out the
Dr. Kochiku, please unmute yourself. Dr. Kochiku, please unmute yourself. Please unmute
sorry.
yourself.
Yes, I've done that. I'm back. So you find out that the human resource department has a very vital role to play in the course of bringing the two institutions together, and at the same time ameliorate every conflict that will arise therein. There is no way conflict will not come up. An institution that was established some years back and another one maybe a few years back, when they are coming together, they have different ideology, different organogram, different operational manuals. So in the course of integrating the operational manuals of both organizations, conflict is about to emerge. Even ordinary salary structure, you find out that if Bank A is coming up to merge with Bank B, the salary structures can never be the same. Bank A may have a higher salary structure. How do you moderate it in such a way that people on the same level in Bank A and Bank B can now come together so that they have now a common salary structure? All these are problems that will emanate in the course of merger and acquisition. But this one, they are minor ones. The major problem comes during due diligence. If you don't have people that are not corrupt in the system, if you manage and send corrupt people to go and carry out due diligence for you, you are gone. That is the beginning of your problem. I have seen so many organizations, so many. This is, oh my God, I don't feel like mentioning names for security reasons. A good number of them have failed because, as a result of having corrupt people in the system who will go there and jettison the idea of carrying out due diligence objectively in such a way that it will suit their purpose, in such a way that both organizations will come together without friction, in such a way that both organizations will come together without experiencing problems. Some banks, I don't want to mention names, in the first merger and acquisition carried out sometimes in 2003, 2004, during Soludo's recapitalization exercise, you find out that a good number of them moved into unholy alliance. Unholy alliance in the sense that their HR department failed to carry out due diligence appropriately to know the assets and liability of the other organization. They will go there and collect bribe and write rubbish. And when the two institutions come together, instead of moving forward, you see them going down. Another problem is greed. Greed. I was asking myself when everybody was rushing the shares of Spring Bank. You remember the Spring Bank was a result of merger between various banks, Citizens Bank, Hallmark Bank, Guardian Express Bank, Wema, Omega. All these banks came together in order to form a stronger institution. But along the line, Bank PHB, who once merged, that was Platinum Bank and later merged with Habib Bank. After the merger, in fact, the merger, as far as I'm concerned, was based on unholy alliance. Even at that, they went further as a result of the assets of the old ACB, who later fused in the Spring Bank arrangements. Because ACB, an old financial institution, they have enough assets, they have enough landed property. But they failed to understand that the new ACB International sold off all these assets before coming together for the merger. Take note of what I'm telling you. You can't see it anywhere. These are practical examples. You can never see this thing or even read it anywhere. Even the other bank that will happen to be old generation bank that followed them in the Spring Bank arrangement, they had good assets because in fact, their operational base was in Southwest. Omega. They had very good assets. But why coming together for the merger when they came up and now formed Spring Bank, all those assets were nowhere to be found. And AfriBank and Bank PHB, they didn't put this into consideration. They were struggling and fighting over shares of Spring Bank. That's worth nothing. I was asking myself, what are they fighting for? The market price of the share price of Spring Bank was about 5 naira 20 kobo. You see them buying at premium at the rate of 11 naira. 11 naira. This overnight, Spring Bank turned out to be the beautiful bride. Everybody was rushing the shares of Spring Bank. You cannot even see it on the trading floor of the Nigerian Stock Exchange. Then after the consummation of all this, AfriBank was buying as if there won't be tomorrow again. Bank PHB was equally scrambling and looking for it. But in fact, it was a serious competition everywhere. But at the end of the day, what happened? AfriBank that was struggling to acquire Spring Bank, where is AfriBank today? Bank PHB that was struggling and offering higher premium in the cost of acquiring Spring Bank just because of access of old ACB and that of Omega Bank. Where are they today? This is the problem. This is the problem. Before you engage in any merger or acquisition, you must carry out your due diligence effectively. Your interest is the asset. Did you ask yourself whether those assets are still there? Did you see any documents showing you that those assets are there? That is the problem. Banks that were doing marvelously well after merger and acquisition, you see them going down. The assignment I gave you is on the one concluded with Diamond Bank and the Access Bank. I don't know, right? Let's see. Let me see your own view. Access Bank gave federal government 1 billion naira as a result of this COVID-19. In fact, it was a merger arrangement, a perfect one. Diamond Bank has a very good IT system. They mix up their some of their hair. Pick up logo, the other one pick up the name. Fine. How far can they go as a financial institution? I don't know. I want to hear from you. I want to know your own view. I want to hear from you. Let us assess it. Let us know what is going on. There was a rumor last week that they planned laying off some staff and at the same time closing down some branches, though they have come out openly to deny such a rumor. Let's take it as rumor. What we want to know, what is going on, how far can they beat the system and move forward so that what happened to others will not happen to them. We are interested in knowing that. Look at Union Bank. Union Bank has a very good assets, was doing marvelously well, but during the merger and acquisition, they merged with some mushroom banks, the likes of broad banks. After the merger, they started having problems. If not that CBN came to their rescue through Asset Management Company of Nigeria and gave them lifeline. If not, Union Bank would have been under today before they now shop for foreign investors. Barclays Bank is back. So we also look at training should include developing conflict resolution skills because two institutions are coming together in the course of forming one. So you have to bring all of them together after merger and train them and have a common organogram. There is also a need to sort out differences in the two companies' practice with regard to compensation because their salary structure can never be the same. So you have to moderate everything, have a perfect and a uniform performance appraisal and other HR systems. So there is need for us to have a complete review of organization's critical work process to make them more efficient and able to deliver higher quality. Remember, I told you that the essence of coming together, joining forces together, is to have higher quality so that you have a very good brand that will not just be servicing your clients locally here, but that will be a brand that will be accepted internationally. A brand that will be competing with their peers favorably in the international market. It also involves reviewing all the processes performed by the all organization's major functions, which include human resource management. It also affects re-engineering affects human resource management in two ways. The first item is the way the HR department itself accomplishes its goals may change dramatically. Because the way you people were doing things in the former organization definitely will change from the way you are doing things at present. Because that is what you bargained. You needed a change. That's why you now embark on the merger or acquisition, as the case may be. The second point we look at is the fundamental change through the organizations require the HR department to help design and implement change so that all employees will be committed to the success of the re-engineered organization. When you come together as a new organization after merger or acquisition, you have re-engineered. So a HR department must have a well-tailored system that will accommodate people from both institutions with a very different ideology. Different in the sense that things can no longer be done the way it used to be done in their previous workplace. Let's look at our sourcing after merger or after a successful merger or a successful acquisition. So the practice of having another company, maybe a vendor, third party provider, or consultant provides services. So having a vendor is very, very crucial. Crucial in the sense that so that nobody will complain that my own people were relieved from duty while the other people from the other end were taken. After a successful merger and acquisition, it is ideal for you to have a third party to help you to source for employees and any other thing you want, even the acquisition of assets. It is better you have a third party because this is another reason why most mergers have failed. Because the time you bring them together, you bring the two institutions together or the two organizations together, you will now see Cold War taking place. People from organization A versus people from organization B. Even when a particular employee is not doing well, you will see HR department protecting that particular employee because both of them were coming from the same organization in the course of the merger and acquisition. I don't know whether you understand what I mean. Let's take, for instance, merger between Union Bank and Broadbank. Maybe a staff, an employee that was taken from Broadbank to join in the new Union Bank. Maybe that employee is not productive. And because a HR manager who happens to be in the Union Bank Human Resource Department, both of them are, he or she is coming from Broadbank with that employee that is not doing fine, automatically he or she will protect his interest because both of them are coming from the same source and they are representing the interests of their shareholders. You see why it is a very big problem. So in order to solve this problem, a third party is highly needed in the course of hiring and taking care of all these things in order to minimize or that conflict that will arise therein. Outsourcing gives the company access to in-depth expertise and is often more economical as well. Because when you now allow a third party to help you outsource from outside, it is more economical. So HR department helps with a transition to outsource. We also have expanding into global market because after merger and acquisition, your next target will be how to expand your business to the international market. So moving operations from the country where a company is headquartered to a country where pay rates are lower, but the necessary skills are there is also necessary. So in some cases, you see some organizations moving to a country where the salary structure is very low, but they have the necessary skills, they have the necessary manpower. The essence of that is to minimize cost of hiring expensive workers. So hiring at home may involve selection of employees from other countries. The beginning of 21st century, no doubt, has seen significant immigration. People leaving Nigeria to look for a job outside, especially our medical doctors, and the people leaving their own countries of origin to come to Nigeria to come and work. Maybe they have specialized skills, so to say, unquote, expatriates. So besides hiring an international workforce, organizations must be prepared to send employees to other countries. This requires HR expertise in selecting and preparing employees for international assignments. HR comes in again in order to assess the caliber of employees that are moving to do the international assignment. Because if you take any house employee to go and represent your company at the international level, you are in trouble. you may lose your foreign partners, as the case may be. So employees who take assignments in other countries are called expatriates, and they are highly paid in the course of doing that. So let's first look at the implications of the technologies influencing HR department. So technology has influenced HR department in so many ways through internet portals, shared service centers, application service provider, business intelligence. So you make all use of all these technologies in the course of doing the job in the workplace. We also have human resource information system, which has to do with the use of computer system used to acquire, store, manipulate, analyze, retrieve, and distribute information related to the organization's human resources. So the HRIS, when I say HRIS, I mean Human Resource Information System. It supports strategic decision making. It helps in strategic decision making. It also helps the organization avoid lawsuits. Whether you like it or not, problems will come up. So it helps them to do what? To minimize lawsuits. It also helps in providing data for evaluating programs or policies. Support day-to-day HR decision. I have 3 more minutes. Let me go back to the assignment once again. Using COVID-19 outbreak as a reference point. Using COVID-19 outbreak as a reference point. Give a critical assessment. Give a critical assessment of the socio-economic implications of the just concluded merger between Diamond Bank PLC and Access Bank PLC. I repeat, using COVID-19 outbreak as a reference point, give a critical assessment of the socio-economic implications of the just concluded merger between Diamond Bank PLC and Access Bank PLC. Submit to valentine@yahoo.co.uk. Then indicate your center, your department. This assignment is very critical and very important to me. I will document it in my email. I won't delete it. In the next 6 months to come, or in the next 1 year, I will go through it again. Based on your write-up and your recommendations and what you have discovered, we'll use it and make reference in future as regards this current merger. Thank you very much and have a very lovely day until I come your way same time next week. Good morning.